Not sure if this is working or not, but I have the hose right down here. It has one of those rubber expandable bladders on it. And so I can pull on the hose. I can pull on it and it's not coming up. So I know that that's sealed and there's no water coming out. This has been blocked right here. Now let's go look at the other end. This is just the gray water system. And this is what I've been digging up. You can see these old lines are completely clogged. See all the roots and everything. See how bad that is? See all that crap that's in there all the whole way down because they had these perforated holes in there and they didn't cover it properly with the fabric, and so the roots were just going in there. So now what I have is I have that cap on there. It's just loose because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up pressure, and I think with all the weight of the water behind it, I think it's going to come blowing out of there and gushing out and washing all that crap out of there. So let's jump down in there and let's see if we can bust that cap off and see what happens. But before we do that, let's go back in the house and make sure that we're still flowing. Make sure we're not leaking out of the washer. Yeah, see, we're not leaking out of there. It was leaking out earlier. It was leaking out earlier, but it's not leaking out right now. And another thing, this little sink right here. See, I unhooked the P-trap and I capped this right here. It is dripping a little bit, but that's okay. I just didn't want all the water coming out here. So I know I got pressure. It's not 100% leak proof, but I don't care right now. I'm just trying to build up pressure. So let's go outside and see if we can explode that cap off of there and see what happens. See if it all comes gushing out like I want it to. I'm trying not to have to dig up more of this line, and I don't want to call the hydrojet people out because they're going to charge me $400 and they can't even guarantee that it's going to work. So let's bust this cap off and hopefully we'll get a geyser right here. There it comes. You see that? You hear that? You hear that? You see all that garbage? Look at that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at that. Hell yes. That's how we do it. Now look at that. It's all coming, all that back pressure. See, I knew there was some garbage like this up in there, but I didn't know how far it was. So it was farther than what I could put my hand up in there. But you saw that. You saw that's how I unclogged my pipe. Okay? So let's just go over this system again. I'm gonna shut the water off so you can see what I'm talking about. So okay, I'll show you from the start. See, I just have the garden hose on. Then it's going in here. I just put this on a T, that way I don't have to run back and forth so much. And before I shut it all off, let's make sure that there's no water coming up out of here. Why would there be? Because I got my clog undone. So, problem solved. Let's go over the system just so you understand what I did here. So I'm going to turn the water off right here. That way I can pull this bladder out so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So now that the water's off, this bladder's not expanding. There's a little bit of pressure in from the hose, but and then you see all that garbage, so the drain's a little bit dirty right there or whatever, but I think there's no dispute of what our big problem was because you just saw it. Okay. So if you've never seen one of these before, I'm going to take it out here and show you how it works. So it just shoots water out. It's like a balloon. You're not going to see it pressure up. But you see, that's what it does. You see, once it's in your line and there's a clog, then you saw how I couldn't pull it out, right? Because it had already built pressure. Let's see if we could get it to build pressure. See that? So if I get it to build pressure there, you see how that expands? And that expands in your line. And so then all that water behind it, it builds up the hydraulic head or whatever you call it. And it looks like it's going to keep, that bladder's going to keep that expanded shape until I turn the water off. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, see that? See, now it's coming back into shape. So once all the water's out there, it just comes back in. So if you've never seen how one of those works, hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you.